In this video, we are going to look at how the human voice works. The first thing we need to understand when we talk about singing is that we are talking about a musical instrument, a tool that we use in order to make music, the same way as a guitar, a piano, or a trumpet. What characterizes this musical instrument? Vocals are a melodic instrument. In fact, we are using it to reproduce hooks and riffs, melodies, rather than chords, harmonies, that accompany a song. Vocals are a personal instrument, which means we are in complete control of it, and our physical and emotional state will determine its operation. If we are singing while keeping our body in a bad posture and using the wrong muscles to control our tone, we will hear it in our voice. The same will happen if we're singing while we're feeling particularly happy or sad, excited or even angry. Vocals are an invisible instrument. How easy is it to see if a piano has a missing key or a guitar has a broken string? We are the only people capable to fully understand what is happening to our body. Therefore, when practicing singing, we must be responsible and recognize if there are any signs of tension, strain, or fatigue. Every time we are producing a sound, when talking or singing, we are entering a process which is called phonation. But what is involved in the phonation process? We divide this process into three areas: power, where we get our energy from before singing; source, when we create the sound waves; and filter, when we turn the waves into our finished product. Let's have a brief look at these three components to better understand how our sound is being generated. Power. Our power system is our breathing mechanism. When we breathe in, we allow the air to get into our lungs. The lungs expand, and when we breathe out and let the air vibrate through our vocal folds, we generate the sound. We are going to look at the optimal way to breathe for singers in the next chapter, and we will be doing some breathing exercises. Source. After the air has come through our lungs, it goes out through our trachea and it reaches our larynx, where our vocal folds or vocal cords vibrate, producing a sound wave which is a raw version of what our final sound is going to be. We have two true vocal folds and they are tiny. The vocal cords look pretty much like this V shape and they are located in our throat, more or less like this. Usually, the male vocal folds are between 17 millimeters and 25 millimeters in length, a little bit bigger than the female vocal folds, which are between 12.5 millimeters and 17.5 millimeters long. Every time they vibrate and close together, the frequency with which the vibration is produced determines the pitch of the sound that will be generated. The faster the vibration, the higher the pitch. In order for our sound to come out clear, we need to make sure that the two folds are coming perfectly together. When this happens, we are talking about good vocal closure. If you hear a breathy, husky sound when you sing, this might be because your folds are not closing together entirely. Don't worry about it. We will work on vocal closure to ensure you can control your sound and allow your tone to be breathy only when you really want it to happen. Filter. The final step of the phonation process happens when the raw sound wave reaches what we call our vocal tract. The vocal tract consists of all the components, starting right after our vocal folds, that will help us shape the sound the way we want, all the way up to our lips. The vocal tract is not only the filter of our sound, but it also acts as a resonator. Every musical instrument has a resonator. Think about the hole in the body of an acoustic guitar or the big cavity of a tuba. What makes our instrument unique is the fact that we can move our face muscles and change the chamber of resonance of our sounds. The main components of the vocal tract we need to think about when singing are the lips, the jaw, the larynx, the tongue, and the soft palate. The soft palate is located at the end of the bony roof of our mouth. We can feel it with our tongue where the tissue starts to become softer, and we can also feel it moving if we swallow or if we yawn. It plays a fundamental role when singing, since its position determines whether the sound will become nasal or not, whether our larynx will move to a lower position, or whether our vowels will sound more open and resonant or small and focused. These three elements, power, source, and filter, are working together to create the unique sound of your voice. In order to explore it in depth, you need to start getting comfortable with your own body and generate what I like to call a state of active relaxation, especially when you're working on your breathing technique.